Alrighty, we're going to go over a couple of things that I think are really important about creature design, and we're going to go through it. So stay to the very end. It's not going to be a long video, but I do want to talk about these tips that are going to make all your creature design a lot better. And hopefully, it's going to rub off on you. It's nothing you need to practice too hard. They are one of these, how do you say, these things that once you know them, you'll never forget. And it's just kind of things that you interweave into your practice. It's more like a to-do thing. So let's start with number one. Number one, you need to look to the animal kingdom. And I would say when I'm thinking of something like this guy right here, the very first thing I thought about was kind of like sloth hands, kind of combined with the overall proportion of some sort of sea creature, and then the head over here of like some amoeba. And I'm thinking, when I do this sort of thing, I am thinking generally of when I say creature design, I'm thinking of like real life animals that exist, because that is pretty much what every creature design that you see in movies, all of that is pretty much entirely based on that. And so you really would like to, sorry, is the mic okay? You really would, you really need to just start to kind of look toward the animal kingdom. You don't want to, how do you say, you don't want to remake the wheel per se. Like, because sometimes you'll have ideas and you're like, oh, that actually exists in nature, right? Certain venomous snakes, certain animals will just have that exact thing. So I would say start learning, start watching animal videos periodically, maybe like 10 minutes a day. Go on YouTube and start watching animal videos, and you're going to be surprised. Start with kind of an area that mildly interests you. Like for me, I would say what really interests me is stuff like sea creatures. Like that's incredibly fascinating, because those are like really, I would say like screwed up. There's some wild things. So if we even go up here, for example, I was thinking of a goblin shark, you know, where his mouth comes out and grabs. It kind of, you know, it comes away from the body a little bit, extends to catch prey. And if you were to show me that in like a movie, I would be like, no, there's no way that's real. But it's real. It's the goblin shark. Look it up. Incredibly crazy shark. One of my favorite sharks of all time. And that's kind of what I was thinking here with his mouth, right? That also shoots out like the goblin shark, right? And it's not familiar enough where the viewer will catch it, but it's I would say it's definitely critical. It's definitely I was gonna say familiar in a way that it almost seems alien, right? It's unfamiliar in a sense. So you know that this shark, you know that, I mean, obviously this is not the shark, but I mean, you know that shark had evolved that way for whatever reason. It's pretty neat to kind of see that. Alrighty, number two would be to kind of think about, as far as creatures go, start to think about like your basic drawing in your, as far as you incorporating stuff. So we'll take this really unfinished one right here. When I'm thinking of my basic drawing, and obviously that's kind of like a duh thing, but I'm thinking of the structure of what this is going to be. I was thinking like a little bit of a bug sort of structure, like a ladybug or something. And I'm still thinking in the sense that this is a round shape. This is, you know, then I think, you know, like, I'm still thinking in a structural sense, because I think sometimes when people think creature design, they get very sloppy, and their stuff kind of has no bones or no exoskeleton or anything of that sort. So like it tends to fall apart. The design doesn't seem convincing because they're drawing basically things with no skeleton. They kind of look like mush. And like I said, it can be that way if you design it that way, right? If you're basing something on more of like a, you know, a non-invertebrate, like maybe like a jellyfish or something, then yeah, you can do that. But I do see people try these monstrous sort of drawings, And since they have no structure,
Hey, 1 minute. Do you want to learn how to draw? I created a free lesson that's going to start you right from the very beginning. You'll learn how to hold your pencil, how to warm up, and simple drawing tricks that real artists know. It's made for complete beginners who've never drawn before. It will help you get better faster and save you years of drawing mistakes. There's no signups, there's no waiting. You just go down to the description of this video, you click the link, and then you have it right there. Go check it out right now while the page is still up.
it doesn't seem real. It looks all squishy and bizarre, and it becomes a mess very, very fast. So I want you to really consider that. That's really important to consider, that entire part of the thing. So it's just something to really think about. I think it's, it's something that should always be in the back of your head as you're drawing, right? The basics, essentially. The basic, or if I was to pin it down to one thing, probably it could be like structure. Structure would be something that's incredibly important, and it's super valuable to have. So just kind of think about that sort of mystique and a mystique. Sorry, think about those basic. If you're not practicing at least the basics every day or so, or if you're a beginner, you should be practicing it every day. Get on it, like get on it now. If you basic drawing skills are gonna make your monster drawings 10 times, 20, 30, 40 times better. It's just gonna change everything about what it is that you want to do. Number 3, I would say when it comes to drawing anything, right? But I would say especially when you're drawing monsters, because you're thinking of design, start to think about, basically, I need you to become, this is really important, I need you to become a nerd. I need you to become very fascinated with learning, right? I need you to do that, because if you're not finding this stuff fascinating, like different animals and stuff like that you have to kind of base these creature designs on, or maybe think about like, oh, how would his torso work that way, right? You're curious about how it might work. How it might, obviously you're drawing stuff that's not real, but you're thinking, how could it be real? Could it be real, right? Would he require like more lung capacity to carry around that big body, or would it make sense that his upper torso would be that big? Questions like this make you more interested, and because you're more interested, you look up these little factoids a lot more, and the more you look up those little factoids, the better, basically the better your drawing turns out. I'm not joking. It almost always goes out, it works out that way. The better your drawing turns out, because you're actually fascinated in the material. It's super important, and I really hope that you take that one to heart, because it is incredibly important that you start to become fascinated with this stuff. And it took me forever. And if you're thinking something right now like, hey, that's not me, I'm just not that interested, or like, you get bored after a certain amount of time, I urge you to train yourself, because that's what I had to do. You gradually, you start to become more resistant to it. Maybe in the beginning, maybe because we watch so many reels, on like Instagram or TikTok, maybe it's kind of screwed up the long-term, your ability to kind of focus long-term. But you want to start training that away, right? By learning for, let's say, 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes can seem like a long time, especially if you're watching 30-second reels, right? Start learning for 10 minutes. Go on YouTube. I'm sure if you watch YouTube, there's a lot of long-form content. Start being fascinated for longer forms of time. And in the beginning, you start to get fatigued and tired, but eventually it'll start to become very easy. Anyways, those 3, by the way, if you stick to those 3, you'll be good. At least, those are 3 tips that really helped me out. I've seen every student that I've had explode as far as productivity and, their design. So definitely check that out. I want to thank you very much, and you're amazing. I'm going to be posting a lot on this channel more if you guys respond. If you respond, I will post way more. If not, I might not, So thanks so much. I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video.
Okay, so that was amazing. You finished this lesson, but keep it going. Keep the art practice going by clicking this video right here. It's going to be within the same theme, and you want to keep it rolling to get better and better and better and get that art flow going. So click right here.